You don't even have kids, be useful. They said, then took $14,000 from me. I made sure they'd never see a dime again. After hosting Christmas, I unlocked my safe. My emergency funds are gone. My father answered, we gave it to your sister. She is establishing a family. My hands were cold. I called my lawyer that night. The next morning, a few emails were sent. Some accounts were checked. That afternoon, my sister called. What did you do? I just remarked. You might want to check your inbox. Christmas was supposed to be calm this year. I hosted for once, not to brag, but because I figured if I supplied the warmth, they'd remember how to keep it. I cooked, cleaned, and purchased gifts for nieces and nephews who hardly recognized my name. My father sat at the head of the table like a statue in corduroy. My sister floats around the room snapping pictures for her stories. And my mother? She was busy speaking behind folded napkins, too preoccupied to ask how I was doing. Nobody thanked me. Not for the food, not for the house, not even for allowing them to remain an extra 2 nights when their plumbing unexpectedly failed. I grinned through it. I let it go. I figured if I didn't make it about myself, they'd notice me anyhow. They did not. I went to check the safe after everyone had departed. The final pine needles had been vacuumed and the wine glasses had been piled in the dishwasher. Not because I was concerned. Just a habit. Just something I did when the home was empty and the silence settled in. The combination clicks gently. The door swings open. And the cash was gone. Emergency funds. $14,000. Not a retirement fund. Not an investment. It's just about safety. The kind of money you save in case the world forgets about you. And it did. I did not panic. I did not shout. I just stood there, staring at the empty space as if it could apologize. That's when my father strolled in, cleaning his hands with a dish towel as if he lived here. We gave it to your sister, he replied frankly. She's starting a family. My hands got cold. Now we've borrowed it. Now she required assistance. Not even a warning. They opened my safe, took my emergency funds and handed them away. And did not believe I deserved to know. I did not say anything. I walked to the corridor, sat on the bench by the coat rack, and took out my phone. One call. My lawyer answered the second call. Evening, he said. Something wrong? I informed him what had happened. He hesitated and continued. I'll start the paper trail tonight. I nodded, despite his inability to see me. Hung up. The following hour was a blur. Several emails were sent out. Some accounts were checked. Keep everything quiet. Cold stuff. There is nothing dramatic. Not yet. That afternoon, my sister called. Her voice was sharp, furious, and half crying. What did you do? I did not raise my voice. I did not even sigh. You might want to check your inbox, I remarked before hanging up. She messaged again. Then again. And finally, you're blowing this out of proportion. It was just sitting there. Emergency cash seems to appear out of nowhere. As if safes open themselves. I sat still. Coffee has gone cold, the laptop is silently blazing on my desk. Email threads are growing by the minute. I hadn't replied yet. I was remembering. This theft is just one of many. The safe was not a betrayal. It confirmed a trend too profound to ignore. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. A week before her wedding, my credit card was charged $9,800. You don't have a spouse or kids, you might as well make yourself useful. The bridesmaids laughed. She smirked. I grinned back and replied, then I hope you find me useless real soon. They took the cash as if it were air. And when I canceled everything, they accused me of being vengeful. They said I had covered the mortgage previously, but it was only a bridging payment. Then I found them buying patio furniture a week later. I repaid her automobile loan in 2021. The same day she uploaded a selfie with the caption, "Nothing feels better than financial independence." She did not even tag me. Every time I gave, they removed the origin. Every time I remained mute, they made it appear as if they built the ladder themselves. I remembered my mother's voice as I volunteered to co-sign their refinance. You're the only one we can count on. She said it as a compliment, but it was actually a sentence. And now this. Taking from the safe was the final footnote. I was not the son. I was always expected to assist rather than to be noticed. Every flashback brings greater clarity. On Christmas Eve, my seat was assigned to a neighbor. You'll be fine in the kitchen. Anniversary supper for those who really matter. Backyard remodel, $12,400 obliterated with text. Don't be dramatic. My sister's RSVP cards list my name as the return address. Her wedding is my credit line. The voicemail from Dad. Maybe it's better you don't come anymore. Each scene was not a moment. It was a data point. I ran the entire system. They merely kept cashing their dividends. And the scariest part? They weren't even trying to hide it anymore. They had become so comfortable using me. They ceased pretending that I was a part of it. Even still, a part of me wished they'd stop before it was too late. I was not hoping for an apology. I simply desired hesitation. One pause. One sign told them they'd crossed a line. But no one blinked. Not her. Not him. Not anyone. So, I made a decision. No more flashbacks. No more patterns. No more polite sabotage. I was finished being useful. I was not going to argue. I was going to move on. This allowed them to confront the gaps they had never recognized. That night after my sister called, I did not dispute. I did not explain. I did not attempt to reclaim what was taken. I reclaimed myself. The emails I sent after hanging up were not impulsive. They were precise. A checklist I'd been mentally creating for years without realizing it. The first one went to my lawyer. Prepare the official dissociation paperwork. Remove me from any joint accounts. Begin the asset protection review. Second, my financial advisor. Transfer all liquid assets to a safe trust. The immediate family is excluded. The third, my accountant. Examine all family-related payments for the last 5 years. Unauthorized ones should be flagged. Prepare the accompanying documentation. It was not about vengeance. It was about reclaiming my infrastructure. By midnight, I was hooked into the back end of the little IT company I had started from scratch. The same corporation that silently managed my parents' home security systems, online backups, mobile subscriptions, and accounting firm software licenses all fell under my corporate umbrella. All are free. All are unacknowledged. I removed their cloud cameras first, then the automated locks, and finally the smart thermostat they boasted about at every family dinner. I reconfigured the DNS setup, which disabled remote access to their home network. They no longer have access to the Wi-Fi that I established for them. When their printer failed, they no longer had to perform emergency troubleshooting. Next, consider a shared family phone plan. 5 lines. Mine, theirs, and my sister's. I did not cancel. I transferred ownership of all lines to them. If they did not accept within 72 hours, their service would be suspended. They would receive the bill. No more free calls. No more of me financing the family's infrastructure. Then I recalled. The streaming platforms. I took a step back from supporting their services and let them tackle it on their own. It was the slightest thing, but it stung. By daybreak, text messages began to arrive. My sister. Why are the security cameras inoperable? I can't log in. My father. The mortgage company called. What have you done? My mother. You are not serious about this, are you? I did not respond to any of them. They didn't ask. They demanded that the system be brought back online. But the system was me. And I was logging out. By lunchtime, they had called. I didn't respond. I waited till the voicemail symbol appeared. My father's voice. Let us resolve this gently. Let's talk like adults. I laughed aloud. He always returned to that line, talk like an adult, after standing by while I was robbed, marginalized, and erased. By the evening, my sister had messaged again. Netflix is not working. Fix it. I said. You said you didn't need me. No emojis. No punctuation. This is just a fact. But I wasn't finished. I accessed the back end of their accounting firm's IT system. They had no idea I still had administrative access. They assumed I'd set it up years ago as a family favor and then let it go. They had no idea I'd been discreetly maintaining their firewall safeguards, software updates, and encrypted backups through my company. They didn't realize the domain was registered in my name. I deactivated the software license. I sent a notice through their administrative dashboard. The system's pro gratis maintenance has been discontinued with immediate effect. Please contact your new IT provider to ensure service continuity. I signed out. I waited. 30 minutes later, the number of voicemails doubled. By morning, my uncle's clinic, which also uses my company's legacy infrastructure, had called my personal line in a panic. The system was offline. They were unable to access patient records. Billing software was down. Everything that kept their business running was quietly backed by me. I did not sabotage it. I did not crash it. I just removed the support. The digital scaffolding failed because they never created one of their own. My cousin Tessa texted me that afternoon. Did you actually pull everything? I said. I pulled myself. The remainder collapsed on its own. She didn't ask any other questions. Instead, she made a call. We spoke for the first time in a year. She confirmed what I had suspected. My parents had tried to distort the narrative, claiming I had gone rogue, that I was mentally unwell. I was jealous. Classic. Tessa, however, did not buy it this time. She was not alone. I forwarded copies of the material to the family members who were important, not out of spite, but because of precision. I did not write an editorial. I submitted audit logs, payment records, and screenshots of my name and the system architecture. I've attached a quick note. I just want you to understand the reality. There's no need to respond. That night my father texted again. You've made your point. Enough for now. However, it was not about making a point. It was about breaking the cycle. I revoked access to the family storage facility which I had secretly paid for the previous 3 years. That housed my father's vintage tools and all of the seasonal decorations they enjoy displaying. Lease was canceled. The locks have changed. I called the mortgage company next. I removed myself as a co-signer for their refinance. The representative paused the call. Do you understand that this will most likely result in a foreclosure review? She inquired carefully. I understood. I have confirmed the removal. 3 hours later, my mother texted. The mortgage company phoned. Fix it. Fix. Always that term. I didn't respond. I transferred all leftover funds from the shared emergency account to a new trust that is secured, protected, and only available to me. The text grew frenzied. My sister. You are overreacting. My mother. Family is all you have. I looked at the last one for a minute. Then I wrote back. I had a family. I'm not in it anymore. I turned off my phone. The next day, I contacted my lawyer to begin the process of officially separating from their company organizations. I didn't even want residual liabilities. I didn't want anything that would link me to their failing infrastructure. My lawyer, who has always been thorough, halted. Do you want to send them a formal notice of severance? He asked. No. I replied. Allow them to feel the silence. Allow them to feel what it's like when the scaffolding disappears and the person they built their system on simply goes away. The calls went unanswered. When the passwords did not work. When the safety net was removed. And for the first time, I did not feel guilty. Not to walk away. Not for allowing the structure to collapse. Not for finally getting free from under the weight they forced me to carry. They did not lose their son that day. They have lost their system. And I was not reinstalling it. I awoke to my phone vibrating nonstop, not dozens or hundreds of phone calls, texts, and voicemails stacking up. All from folks I grew up to call family. They were in panic mode. And every communication felt like a bullet. Mom's message, all uppercase without punctuation. What have you done? We are suffering. Please fix this before it gets worse. Dad's voicemail was a rant. You are ungrateful for what I have done. I hope it was worthwhile. He left it on repeat. Sister's group SMS to relatives. He's being irrational. He took a step back from all support. Do not trust him. It was marked urgent and had 12 blue check marks. They figured if they screamed loud enough, someone would break. However, silence is the loudest accusation. And I had mastered it. That morning I read the sequence. My sister sent me pressuring text messages. Stop it or I'll go public with private information. Legal threats. My parents' lawyers are demanding that services be reinstated and trust transfers be retracted. Emotional appeals. Your nieces are afraid. We're in deep. We need our home back. Everything I expected. Predictable. Systematic. Nonetheless, they all originated from the same place. Dread. Fear of being held accountable. Fear of losing what they had taken for granted. I did not respond. I did not engage in an argument. I observed. An hour later, my lawyer forwarded the official cease and desist letter from my sister's attorney, demanding that I stop disrupting services or face injunction and unspecified repercussions. He continued, they will sue if necessary. My lawyer's note was calm. They may file. Let us see if they do. Your acts were lawful, recorded, and justifiable. I leaned back. Heart is steady. The storm has begun. However, storms eventually run out of thunder. By mid-afternoon, the family had rallied allies. Uncle Marvin, their banking pal, texted, you know legal fees will bankrupt them. Think twice. Nora shared vague family values postings on Facebook insinuating that I was toxic, selfish, and immature. They were all nervous. They tried to play the victim. They banded together. But I'd already provided the documentation. I uploaded a secure version of the audit logs and transcripts to a secret legal Dropbox which is only accessible to a neutral lawyer. Each transaction, every account gets reviewed. Each email thread, transparent logging, timestamped, ready for discovery. Then the media began. Well, not the media, but rumors. Family acquaintances have contacted me for information. Friends informed me that they had received forwarded versions of our group chats. My universe broadened to include their talk. That evening, I witnessed the crescendo. Mom's lawyer sent an email, demanding an injunction. Emergency compliance. Money damages. Dad's precisely worded letter claimed mental pain, reputational damage, and a breach of trust. They placed the entire blame on me. They clothed it in love. We merely did this to get her started. We never intended to harm you. Classic spin. Their version. We gave the money. He exposed us to cold blood. Their pressure was increasing. But below it was ridiculous. They broke into my safe, they took my money, cut me off, and accused me of rebelling. I had a look at the inbox, which was packed with demands. Then I sent everything to my lawyer and responded. Under review, my next steps will be directed by counsel. Until then, I stand solid on my decision. The infrastructure is down. The trust is gone. I did not provide a signature. I did not soften the tone, because there was no more room for warmth. Later that night, my sister texted again. If you truly cared about this family, you would not resort to legal measures. You'd simply give back. I halted. I typed. I gave everything. You've taken it twice. Hit the send button. Then it was quiet. Not the electrifying, foreboding stillness of danger. However, where connection once was, there is now an absolute deafening nothingness. Their voices faded. Their systems remained inert. Their defenses began to deteriorate. But more crucially, they understood I would not go back to the old rules. They had written the regulations without asking me. Christmas lights were unplugged in the basement, cameras are offline, shared drives are inaccessible. Checking my phone, there was no call, there's no text, there's no pleading left unseen. Because the source of the storm was not anger. It was the result. They developed a system, I untangled it. And now they face the fallout. Without even understanding how to construct a new framework without me. They approached my door as if they were arriving for a truce. All three of them, my mother, father, and sister, standing on the porch, dressed in anguish, not dressed for battle, not dressed to apologize, just polished, practiced. Rena opened the door. She didn't invite them inside. She just said, "You can stand." There. I remained seated. I could hear my mother's voice cracking before she began speaking. "We didn't come to fight. We just want to talk." Rena stood away, allowing the words to hang in the air like smoke from a fire that had already consumed the house. I looked up. Finally they stood. Dad talked first. "You look tired, son." I didn't respond. Mom took control, practiced, and trembled. "We've made mistakes. It was never supposed to go this far. You cut everything off. You didn't have to make it so final." Then she added the line that they'd all been working toward. "We need you." There it was. "Now we miss you. Now we're sorry. Just what you need." As if I were still a utility. A feature. A fix. I took a step forward, Rena still standing by me. "You don't need me. You need what I gave you. And that's gone." Dad's voice became harsh. "This family falls apart without you." "That's not a family." I responded. "That's a business model." Sister stepped forward and raged. "So you're just going to throw everything away over what, one bad night?" I laughed once, short, cold. This wasn't one night. It was 2 decades. You regarded me as if I were a backup, infrastructure, or a fuse that could be reset at any time. But the power has been cut. Mom's voice broke into genuine tears. "We didn't mean to hurt you. We were overwhelmed. We didn't know how much you did." I stared at her. That line we didn't expect struck like a slap. You didn't ask because you didn't care. It worked. That was enough. Dad tried again, this time quietly. "You're our son. We raised you. You owe us some humanity." "No," I replied. "You raised me to believe I owed you everything. You spent it. It's gone." Silence. The wind blew stronger now. It was frigid. Sharp. Like the truth. I took a step closer so they could hear every word. "I didn't walk away because of money. I walked away because you never saw just what I could provide." Finally, I looked at my sister. "You didn't just lose the perks. You lost connection." Then I examined all of them. "You were not unkind, you simply did not notice me. And I'm done paying for it." Rena slowly closed the door behind them. They did not knock again. I stood in solitude. For the first time, it did not feel empty, it felt clean, clear. Final. They did not cry as they went. They did not beg. They merely stood there shocked because they recognized something they didn't expect. I could leave. That I would not return. That I meant it.